Hello, my name is Azmi, and in this video, I'm going to be explaining the Python code that I made for the ninth assignment of Computer Programming 1 Practicum, where we were tasked to make two different codes. First one about book data, and then second one about username validation, and we're just gonna go straight into it. So first of all, we were tasked to have data of five books with the year they were published on. And now we have to show each title and year of its release based on specific requirements. The first one, we were tasked to output books that are released before 2005. And to do that, I did print and then books published before 2005. And then here we have a four kind of loop here. We have four title, year in books. If year is under 2005 or released before 2005, it will print the title in front of a bulletin um, symbol. And then the next one, we were tasked to print all book names that are published after 2009. So same thing, instead we replace it with books published in 2009. And then for title, year, and books, is if year is equal to 2009, then it will also print it in a bulletin. And of course, we have the title variable here to print it right after the bulletin symbol. And then afterwards, we also have an argument that wants us to count and display how many books are released after 2000. So here I have book count after 2000, and then sum, which will, uh, equate or count how many in total um, there are of books released after 2000. So here we have a generator expression inside sum. It iterates through the books. Essentially, it goes to everything and adds one. So one for underscore. It adds one after each book that are released or published after the year 2000. Um, the underscore is just essentially to ignore the book title. So again, this will essentially add one each time there's a book that are released after 2000. And of course, we print it to display it, number of books published after 2000, and then the variable itself. So we're just going to try this code right away. And there you have it. We have books published before 2005. There's Bumi Manusia and Cantik Itu Luka. And second, we have books published in 2009. Specifically, we have Negeri Lima Menara and Perahu Kertas. And then we have the total number of books published after 2000, which is 4 books. And now we're getting into the second code about username validation, where we were tasked to input these names beforehand: Andika, Sari, Joko, and Rina. And then now we have to create a program that asks for a new username input. And if the name already exists in the current list, it will ask us, or it will tell us that the username is already being used. And if not, it will add it to this array of names essentially. And then this code will keep repeating until the user enters or writes exit in the chat or the terminal. Sorry. So here we have the list of names, as I stated before, and then we have a while loop here. Well, where while true, a new username will ask for an input, and it will print out enter a new username or type exit to quit. And then there's a lower here. This essentially converts the input to lowercase, to avoid case sensitivity issues. As we've seen, all the names beforehand are in lowercase, so we want to keep that consistency. And then, after asking for input, if the new username or the input that's been put in by the user is exit, then it will break this whole command, and essentially it will stop the program. And then otherwise, if the username or the new username already exists in the current usernames, it will print username is already taken. And then the final else statement, the final if else statement is that username at username. Of course, this is if it's not exit, or it's not a username that already exists, it will add that new input that new name into the username array. And then, of course, it will print username is successfully added. And then afterwards, um, it will repeat it again, obviously, because it will continue until there's an exit. And also, in the end, after we do exit, it will print final list of username, and it will list each one of the names, essentially. A pretty simple program and self-explanatory, so I'm just going to run the code here. And here we go. We can see that it says enter a new username or type exit to quit. So for example, we're just going to do a name that already exists first to see what it says. So let's do Sari. As you can see, username is already taken. Let's do another one. Rina, username is already taken. So that won't work if we want to add a new name. But now, let's say we do want to add a name that's not currently in the list. Um, let's say Jake. We add that to the list, and it says username is successfully added. And then let's do one more. Let's say Rena, username is successfully added. And now, when we type exit, it will print all of the usernames from the original list, and then also the new added ones, such as Jake and Rena. There you go. Final list of usernames: Joko, Sari, Rena, Andika, Jake, and Rina. Now let's try it once more to really test it out. Let's do, for example, we just write a new name, and this can keep going forever. So let's say Frank. Let's say Jake again. Let's say Dean. Let's say Ari, and we can keep going on and on because it's a while true loop. And let's say exit. Let's say that's enough, and now it will print all of the username, including the original ones. And there you go. That's the two code for this assignment. Thank you very much.